When people are talking about the immortal soul that can't die no matter what, we are normally talking about a mysterious thing which exists outside the universe, in a universe of its own, protected from the hardships and violence that may exist out there. When everything else is going wrong, at least we have our immortality as eternal souls to lean back on. This is still true, as long as the gates to the Ka are open for us. If they shut, we are cast out of heaven, quite literally speaking. We still keep our fire, but we no longer have anything to ground it to, because the main fire, which is the whole Ka, the true spirit realm and its many dimensions, is inaccessible to us. However, if we play our card right, the beings of the 96% will still let us have access, and if so, we have the possibility to complete our task. What we need to do is to get rid of our inner conflict caused by the indifferences between the fire and the avatar. It is absolutely possible to possess both, but only if we don't have amnesia. If both souls inside of us know their purpose and that they complement each other, there is no longer any conflict. If we are free from this conflict, we are also free to travel the Ka, stay there, and return to the 4% whenever we want, or dwell in both places simultaneously, which would be more natural so long as we want to work as card holders. I am sure it's not an obligation to do this. We do have free will, and can still get access to the heavens and stay there. But we, as fire beings, came here voluntarily to accomplish this. So hopefully as many as possible are willing to do this. At this point in time, I must admit, I am not sure whether we will keep our avatars in the future or not, because contrary to other star beings, we possess the royal fire, which, me knowingly, only the queen and her offspring possess to begin with without first earning it of all beings living in the 4%. This is because these royalties are of the Ka, not the 4%. This makes it quite possible for these Aryan royalties to travel both the Ka and the 4%, and live in either or. I don't think they need avatars to travel in the 4%, so in the future, we humans may get rid of ours too. The Syrians, as explained earlier, are said to be great navigators of the Ka, which is true. Any star race who wants to travel distances in the 4% still needs access to the Ka through star lanes, such as Peshmetan. These are like tunnels and take you from one access point to another, and doesn't really connect you with the Ka per se, only specific veins running through the Ka, acting like great shortcuts when avatars travel long distances in the universe. So what is our first step here? The first thing is to raise our own vibrations, and part of being able to do that is to start disagreeing with the Syrians and their system, which is nothing but a control system from beginning to end. We all are part of the system from when we wake up in the morning until we go to sleep in the evening, 365 days a year. All that has to go, so we need to claim our own sovereignty and become multidimensional, which ultimately means multidimensional in the Ka, but we automatically also become multi-D in the 4%, albeit, this is more like interdimensional. The multiverse, in which you change your reality by thought, emotion, intention, and possibly action, is anchored in the Ka, not the 4%, although you change your reality in both, so to speak. Other star beings can do the same, because everything in the 4% universe is still connected with the Ka, from which it once was created. Even if the Syrians has locked it in, they can't, and don't want to, change the fact that it's connected with the Ka, because if it was disconnected, it would cease to exist. The only difference, like I've said, is that other star beings out there don't have the fire from the beginning like we do, but have to earn it. So when we go out there one day to explore the dimensions of the 4%, we will find beings with different quantity of fire within them. Fire they have earned over time. They, however, do not have amnesia, and therefore no conflict between fire and avatar. Because the 4% is just a reflection of the Ka, and albeit created out of it, it has its own kind of energy. So, can avatars die and cease to exist just like 4% bodies do, and thus part of our personality dies with it? Shouldn't these kind of souls die, just like everything else in this universe perishes over time? Yes and no. It is true that the avatar is made from the same energy as a body, but a body is much denser than the soul, and it's programmed to die after a certain amount of years, which the avatar is not.